Alright everybody, I know we're not on our bridge model here while we're working on our bridge model, but I wanted to make a separate little video to show you guys something. If you remember back when we were going over editing, we went over the screw operation, and I was pretty quick about it because I said eventually I'm going to show you a modifier for screw that's probably going to be a lot better. Well, that's the only thing in the next video that I did that we haven't already gone over. And that'll all make sense in a little bit, but I want to start out by showing you a couple of things for that. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of my cube. Now, it's a matter of preference, which is why it's under user preferences if you want to do this, but I want to show it to you. We're going to go into user preferences. And if you want to start creating things based on the viewport that you're at, you're going to be defaulted at world, which means it's always going to make things with whatever their Z up position should be. But we can go in and make this align to view. And we can save that. And I'll show you why. The first thing I'm going to do is create a cylinder. So cylinders always come in with the end cap facing you. So I'm going to go to 7, my top view, and I'm going to create my cylinder. And yours may come in a little differently. I've changed mine quite a bit. I'm going to go to 3, it's my side view. You can see I've got 12 vertices. My radius is 0.25, and I have a depth of 8. But really anything you want to play with will do, but something close to that for this will be great. So I'm going to zoom in on that a little bit. And we can add an edge split modifier and smooth that out, and that's all very nice. Alright. I do have a couple of posts with rope wrapped around them, and rather than using the spin tool, I used a spin modifier. So I want to show you guys that. So I'm going to hit Shift A. I'm going to create a circle. I'm going to tab into edit mode. I'm going to scale that circle way down. And I'm going to pull it out. And also mind you that my cursor is at the center of my post because it's the only thing in my scene. However, that being said, if you have a post or something like that in your scene, before you create this mesh, make sure you select whatever you're going to wrap this around. And I'm going to hit Control or Shift S. I'm going to make sure cursor to selected has happened, so that's at the center. Because in this case, instead of a line, this post is going to be our pivot. Alright, I'm going to scale this down some more. I'm going to butt it right up against the edge of the post. Make sure I'm in ortho. That should do. Then I'm going to add a screw modifier. Now the first thing we can see that happened is it all went awry. That's alright. We have a lot more control with the screw modifier. So all we have to do is change our axis. In this case, Y. And we get a nice circle. And that's because we haven't actually changed the screw angle yet. So we can try 0.1. That's not bad. Let's zoom in here a bit. Maybe a little too much. 0.09. Yeah, that'll do. And then we can just crank up our iterations. And now we have a nice rope wrapped around our pole. Alright, but we do have these ends that we need to deal with. So, the first thing we're going to do is tab back into object mode. Then I'm going to apply my modifier. Now when we go back to edit mode, instead of a circle with a modifier on it, we have an actual mesh, which is pretty easy to deal with. So here's a couple other neat tricks. I'm going to deselect everything. I'm going to make sure I'm in edge mode. And I'm going to hold down Alt and grab one of these so that I get the whole beginning circle. Then I'm just going to move that in, move it up, and make it look like we've tucked the rope away. I'm going to do the same thing here. Move it in, move it down. And there, it looks like we've got our rope all tucked in and tied off, which will do fine for what we're going to do. All right, we have one last thing that we can do. You'll remember our hotkey O for proportional editing. We're going to use that, but I want to show you guys a little bit different way of using it. If we make sure we're in vertex mode, and we turn on our proportional editing, O, and then we start moving things around, you see the problem is this whole collection of rope moves. But we can come down to our proportional editing down here, and we have it enabled, but it's projecting a 2D view, which is basically just what we can see, and that's the way that it default works. If we switch to connected, it's now going to grab only the verts that are directly connected to this one. So then we can pull this around a little bit. And grab one up here. We move that in. Grab one here. Maybe move that over. Down a little. Down a little. Bring that one down a little. And you can work all the way around fiddling with this, but you can see we get a little bit more organic look if we play with this a little more. Alright guys, that pretty much covers it. That's the only thing in the next video that I used that we have not used before. And in the next video, we'll discuss about what I would like to see from you guys and why I'm not showing you everything. All right, I will see you then.